Smell those toasted cheese sandwiches. Oh. Oh. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do a winter special. We're going to make one of my favourite soups, which is a classic tomato soup. I'm going to make it a little bit spicy, but not crazy. We're only going to use one chili, and I'm going to pair that up with a grilled toasted cheese sandwich. Really easy ingredients, basic sort of stuff. So let's get started, hey? So first of all, what we're going to do is put a pot on the stove and get that nice and hot. And for this grilled sandwich, we're going to use a grill plate. You can actually substitute at home with a non-stick pan if you don't have a grill plate, but I want the nice little bar marks that's on, and it's on nice and low, getting hot, ready to go. Okay, so let's begin with the soup. So for this recipe, what you're going to need is 2 whole onions sliced. You're going to need 2 potatoes, whitewash peeled, 3 capsicums. They've already been sliced and de-seeded. I've got 3 punnets of cherry tomatoes. I like cherry tomatoes because they're nice and sweet. They don't have too much acidity to them, but you can use different types of tomatoes if you like. We have 3 cloves of garlic there that have just been roughly smashed up. We have some Vegeta stock powder. You can make some stock from scratch, but today we're going to use this because we want this to be done in under half an hour. We have some olive oil, some water, and some basil to finish off the soup. So that's the soup component. And for the toasted sandwich, what you do is you get yourself some nice thick white bread. I'm using the Lawson range. 2 types of cheeses for a really good grilled sandwich, toasted cheese sandwich. What you need is like a good melting cheese. I like Swiss cheese, and pair that up with a sharp sort of cheese, which is like a Tasty, a cheddar, something of those sorts. So we're going to use 2 types of cheeses, and to make that extra decadent, we're going to use a mayonnaise. My favourite brand is a Kewpie Mayo brand, and that we'll show you how to do that later. Make it nice and creamy as such. You're also going to require some room temperature butter to butter the outside of your toast. All right, so here we go. So that saucepan should be ready to go. That pot should be ready to go, nice and hot. So olive oil in. So that's roughly about 50 mils of olive oil. Onions go in. Let's turn the heat up a little bit. Now with this soup, it's safe to throw all your ingredients in, and then we're going to turn the heat down and let that just sweat away slowly, and we're going to extract as much flavour as we can out of it before we add our stock, and then we're going to blend it. Okay, so I can hear those onions starting to sizzle a little bit now, so now's the time to throw in your garlic. And like I said before, so onions just lightly crushed like that, they go straight in. Give it a little stir. Next go in your potatoes. So what the potatoes are going to do is just help thicken your soup a little bit. You don't have to add that in, but I do recommend it. I mean, I don't like to add creams to my soup, so potatoes in. Capsicums. So capsicums have been cleaned out, no seeds, all sliced up. Cherry tomatoes, that's 3 punnets worth. They've been just halved and they've been washed. And like I said, it is a spicy tomato soup, and I'm only adding 1 whole chili that's just been also de-seeded. It's going to have a little bit of kick, but not too much, so it's still safe for the kids. So that's the majority of the ingredients in now. We're just going to let that work its magic. The trick is to let that sweat for as long as possible. So we're going to leave that on there for roughly about 10 minutes, and we'll come back later and add the stock and start finishing off the soup. See you soon. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes now, so we're just going to check up on our soup to see how that's going. So that's working really well, and those tomatoes are starting to release their juice. The potatoes are starting to soften up a little bit, and so are the capsicums. Those onions are caramelizing. Just give it a little bit of a stir, but don't disturb it too much. So like I said, let it do its thing. So a lot of cooking techniques are just leave it alone, let it do its thing. So we'll just wait. While that's happening, we can start preparing our toasted cheese sandwich, ready for the grill plate. So what we do here is we grab our grab our bread, and what I recommend is nice thick cut bread for this. You can use any bread. Some people like to use day-old bread. I prefer fresh. We'll go to the center of the packet. Now, mayonnaise. Nice generous layer, like that. Then lay down your sharp cheese. Be generous with the cheese. Want it to be decadent. Then your Swiss. Another layer of mayo. Bit of cracked black pepper. Pinch of salt. Your softened butter. Making sure we cover all the edges. And then we'll just put that to the side, let that sit there, and then once it goes on the grill, we'll do the other side. We won't do it now because it'll just make a mess on our bench. Okay, so let's check up on our soup again. I think it's going to be ready to go with the actual stock. Yeah, so just like I predicted, those tomatoes have now almost come down to like liquid state. So we're good to go now. So we're going to get our stock ready. So for that, we're going to use a powdered stock. Like I said, you can make yourself a vegetable stock, and you can get yourself a recipe online. But today we're going to do this. So the recipe calls for 2 teaspoons to 1 litre of water. I'm actually doing 1.5 litres of water today, just to make it tricky. So let's go. There we are. Now, be careful with this stuff. It is quite salty, so you can always add more if you need it. We'll do that later when we do our taste test. So add your stock to your water. It does call for warm water. Give it a bit of a mix, and then that goes into your soup. Okay, we'll come back in about 10 more minutes. We'll blend the soup, season it up, toast our sandwich, and we're ready to eat. Right, so soup's boiling away. We're going to turn that down now. Potatoes are nearly cooked through. That's what we're waiting on. So soup's ready to go. It's starting to taste wonderful. Just waiting for the potatoes to cook through. Toast is ready to go on, so we're going to put that on now. As you can see, during the little break, I've made 2 sandwiches because the camera guy said he wants sandwich 2. So here we go. So butter side down onto your grill or your non-stick pan as such, or you can actually put it into a sandwich press if you like. I think this will look nicer. So that goes down like that, like that. Turn that right down. Now the trick is to cook it for as long as possible. You want that nice crisp outside, gooey on the inside. So temperature right down, nice and slow. By the time the soup comes up and we blend it and season it up, those sandwiches will just be perfect. It's just a matter of judging the timing correctly. Right, let's give the soup a bit of a stir. We'll check those potatoes with a knife. Those potatoes, like the knife's just going through them, but they're still a little bit firm. So I think they need about another 4 or 5 minutes on the boil. So we're going to turn that temperature up just a touch more, just to finish them through, and then we'll start blending the soup and seasoning and adding our herbs and finishing it off. So now the toasted cheese sandwich is on the grill. So this is where you butter the other side, because we're going to get ready to flip it over soon. So very carefully, obviously it's a hot surface, so just be super careful when you do this. Same as before. And we're going to bring over our hot soup ready for blending. So when I say the potato is nice and soft, that's what I mean. Like, knife can go through them quite easy. Not much effort at all. There we are. Now that won't have an issue blending when I put the bar mix through them. Okay, so that's blended. Let's have a taste. Alright, so some of that salt's come through from the stock that we added before, but it does need some salt. So this is where you adjust accordingly to like your taste levels. So for me, that needs a few pinches of salt. It does need some pepper. Now we're going to flip over those sandwiches too. So now what we're going to do is add our herbs, marriage, or flavours. Just tear it up. I am going to pulse again with the stick blender. All right, now that soup's ready to serve. So we're just waiting on our toasted cheese sandwich now, and we're going to tidy up now and get ready to plate. All right, so looks like everything's good to go. Toasted cheese sandwich is ready. The burnt one's for the camera guy. Soup's ready good to go. We're all set to plate up, so let's plate up. So first of all, soup into your bowl, ridiculously large ladle. Nice solid scoop of soup, like that. Bring over the toasted cheese sandwich. Yep, it's good to go. Then let's garnish the soup. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go a little bit of cracked black pepper, like that. Always a little bit more salt. You want people to go, what is that? There we are. Sprig of your herb that we're using, like so. Drizzle of olive oil, you know I can't get enough of the stuff. Like that. Restaurant quality serve. And now the moment of truth, your big toasty cheese sandwich. Let's cut it in half, and that should be nice and oozy. Look at that, to die for. That goes like that, just in there. And there you have it, folks. Classic tomato soup with a toasted cheese sandwich. How decadent, just in time for winter. My favourite soup, hopefully it's your favourite soup. Enjoy.